Hello everyone, welcome back to ClickyWalls, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm a long-term dungeon master, and when I was running my campaigns, one of the biggest problems that I came across was not being able to find the right terrain to build out my table. And so I created my own, which is ClickyWalls, and this video is all about the new program that I've built called ClickyWalls Studio, and it's basically a software that brings everything together. So if I just explain quickly what ClickyWalls is, it's walls and connectors that you just click together so that you can build structures, dungeons, buildings, whatever you like, chuck them on your table. And they just add the great gameplay mechanics, things like that, because obviously you've got the height and things like that, and you can build all sorts of different buildings out of the same pieces that you've printed. Or if you do like I do, design something and then you put it together. I usually glue it just to make it more rigid, and I paint it all up to make it look cool, and it really gives the table that wow factor. But also, because of all the different levels and things, it adds that element of adventure for your players when they're winding through a dungeon. You haven't got these silly little tiles that spend an hour putting them together to then sweep them all up again and put them in a box. This is more about the actual buildings and the structures and terrain, and I'll show you. So in this video, what you're going to learn is what ClickyWalls is, how you use it, but also how you can use the new software to design your own buildings from all the pieces that we supply. Think of it as a little bit like Lego, but instead of building blocks, you're putting together walls and sections at a time. So to build a simple little room, for example, you just use 4 walls, a floor, and then maybe put a roof on it if you want to. So let's get into it. Right, this is the ClickyWalls website. On the build sets page, it's basically everything that we got available. So here's the mug and mortar, very popular, great starting place, but we've also got Dirty Hovel, Rickety Under Shack, they're free models. Tudor Townhouse, nice one. Town Square, you get lots of all sorts of outside things, so the theatre, but you also get gallows, all sorts of bits and pieces in there. Have a look, it's good. Then we got the castle section. This is a huge build project if you want to take it on, but great to have on the table. Various little buildings. Then we've got all the dungeons type stuff down here, which is the rat warrens is one of my favourites because it's all like little tunnels, and it's difficult to play in a sense because it's all tight little narrow tunnels, but adds that element of bottlenecks and things like that. So it's pretty cool, that one. And then sludgeways are the big sewage system that's all open, so lots of room to play in those. Trial chambers is a good one. This is all like traps and things like that. Iron Hold is all the prisons. Secret chambers is all about, there's like little secret passageways and hidden walls and things like that. That's really cool. Underworks is another favourite of mine, which is obviously all the mines and things like that, and you've got little railways, little carts. So this is the thing with ClickyWalls as well. A lot of it is, it's not just solid pieces, they're interactive, so the little mine carts that roll along the tracks. And if we look back up here with the castle, it's got working portcullis. There's a working drawbridge where you can twist a little crank, it pulls the chain and pulls it up. And these are all 3D printed. You can just print them on your printer at home, and there's no supports, so you don't have to worry about wastage, you don't have to worry about all the cleanup afterwards. Everything's printed nice and cleanly. You snap it off, no glue, you just click it together, chuck it on your table. If you want to, you can paint it to make it look nice. And that's it. And then we got some puzzles down there as well. And then these are just like the core sets, so different sorts of roofs and the floor flockers. The floor flockers are trays essentially that you can then put in. You can fill them whatever you want. You can just flock them with grass, so then you've got some boards that you can just put down to build it up. You can fill them with resin to make rivers, swamps, things like that. And we got some really good examples of some swamps on there actually. If you take a little bit look, it's just ClickyWalls.com. And then we've got some expansion sets, so more expansions to the roofs, etc. And then we got the early access subscription. Really good. If you become a member, basically everything that we release every month you get for £8, which is an absolute steal. So if we just go back to the top here and you click on Studio, this will load up our new Studio program. So as you can see, this building here is just something I was working on. It's called Woffington's Doghouse. It's a very simple build. It takes up four squares, and what we can do with this software is in the group section. So here, this is all the parts that has been made used to make this building. Just collapse that down a minute. So we've got level 1 and then level 0. So if I just select that, you can see level 0 is always the ground floor. So let me just mute my phone because it's going to keep dinging. Where's my mute button on? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so as you can see, that's my ground floor lit up, and then level 1 is my roof. So there isn't a level 1 on here at the moment. That's the level 1 is just roof. Actually, there is. So if I click on that, and then you can see this lights up because it's on this level. If you click that one, it's on that level, so that just helps you find pieces. Open that up, scroll down, and then it'll be lit up, and then we could just press the eye and make it disappear. So we have actually got a level here. Look, we've got a little staircase, and then we got like a little mezzanine type roof section there. And if I just click that and disappear, and there's a little door into this room here. Now with ClickyWalls, they're all in levels, so this level here in real life you can lift it off so that you've got access to each level at a time, so you can stack it up and have as many levels as you want. And what this program does, it allows you to build these buildings, and if I just make that disappear, and all these are print in place. So this door here, so it's got hinges and the window's got a hinge. You literally just print it out like that, use your thumb, push it, and that will just pop, and you'll be able to open the windows and doors as well, which is great. I think what we'll do, we'll start a new building, and I'll show you from scratch how you would build it. So what should we build? We'll build let's build Tumley's Tower. Click create, and then it will just get the workspace set up. So over here it says all sets. When you buy a building from ClickyWalls, you get all the STL files for that, and you'll get instructions on how to build it. Maybe we'll do that before we build this building. Let's just go and have a little look here. So at the moment we're in the studio. If we go to my builds, this is everything. So you can see Tumley's Tower's there already. There's nothing there, there's no image because I haven't built anything. But we've got the Woffington's Doghouse that we was looking at. And then the ones that are outlined, like this one, Rickety Undershack, Tudor Townhouse and the Dirty Hovel, they're all official buildings. So this is what we've created. They're the ones that you'll actually buy on the website. So if you bought this one, for example, actually don't buy that one because it's free, Rickety Undershack. This one is Tudor Townhouse. If you bought that, you get all the pieces that's used in that build, that you can build this building, and but you also get all those 3D parts. And so the 3D parts, you can either print them off so that you can build them in real life, or you can use those 3D parts in this software to rearrange them and build whatever you want. Once you've built something, it creates a planner. So here, look, it will show you, this is how you build it. So the build planner, you then just click next, and then it'll tell you what wall it is, and how to put it together. And you just click through, it shows you there, look, what it is. I'm going to change this a little bit because this bit needs to be bigger. So this is a prototype, it's work in progress. So yeah, you're just clicking through, and then each of the walls that you've printed out, it just shows you how to then put them all together to build this little townhouse. There we go. Keep clicking, and then it goes on to the next level, and this is the top part, and then the final bit, which is the roof. And what you can do in here, if you build your own buildings, is you can rearrange these parts the way that it gets put together. So the computer does a fairly good job of deciding where things go, but sometimes it's a little bit daft. It'll put things, you know, in the sky before you've got the bit to put them on. So you can just rearrange it, and then you save it. You just save the planner, and then that's the build instructions for anybody else that wants to build it, which brings me on to the publish builds. So on there, if you publish something, it will come up here, everybody will have access to it. Just turn everything on, so all the things that published go in here, and then you can just pick something. If you've got the Tudor Townhouse and somebody's used the Tudor Townhouse to build something, you can filter it. So you can just say, take off everything. I just want everything that's built with a Tudor Townhouse, and then it will give you a list of buildings there. If you just using the free ones to start with, you can just click those two, and then everything that's free will show up. Or if you just wanted everything that's built from the Rickety Undershack, for example, you can click on there. Yeah, so that's the published builds. And if I just go back to my builds, what's it going to show you? Actually, let's just get back to building. So if we click on that, bring us back to the studio. So then the first thing that we usually do is we would start with some connectors. So it starts off with everything selected here. If you just click all, it turns it all off, and then just click connectors, and then we want to find the connectors that we want to use. Now, if you've never built a ClickyWalls before, I highly recommend just printing off the Rickety Undershack or even the Hovel, the Dirty Hovel, so that you understand how the system works. Print it all off. They're very simple buildings. Click them together, you get a feel for it, and then it'll sort of make a little bit more sense in here of what you're doing. So if we just use a standard connector, so we've got an elbow, a straight, a T and a cross. So we want the cross connector. So you open it up and it will show you, I thought I muted that. So that's your regular sort of cross connector there. It's what we call a locked one, because it's got this little notch, and they fit into those bottom bits. So There we go. So then we can just add that to our window, and then we can put it wherever we want by just dragging it around. And then if we turn that off, we'll go back to walls. We just choose a standard wall. So this is a little rickety block wall, and in here it just gives you the name there, and then we'll add that. And then again, you just grab the purple bit to move it around. If you move it to a connector, it will connect in. Then we can duplicate it, spin it round, put it over here, and it will just lock into that one like that. So then we'll grab that, duplicate it, pull it over here, and that will lock in. And no, we'll do that. I want to duplicate it, then turn it around, pull that, and then it will lock in. So there we got full walls. And then we will actually we'll put another wall in. Let's put a door in. Just give that a second. So that's the door from the Dirty Hovel, and we'll chuck that in. Actually, we need some more of these connectors, and we'll just bring them forward. At the moment, I'm just using cross connectors, because if you use cross connectors, it means you can start expanding your building. So you could grab that one, duplicate it, pull it over there, and then you can start making the building even bigger. But you don't have to. So if you know that you want a nice finish on this corner here, you can get an elbow connector, which is this one. So it's just got the two rails on there, and then that will just click in nicely, and then you've got a nice finish. Just means you can't add anything to it later on, you know, more walls and things like that if you want to make it bigger. So that's that. Shall we? What should we do? I think we'll just delete that. I don't want that one. What we'll do, we'll put a floor in this section. So turn off connectors, add floors. So we got some cool little floors there. That's one with a chimney. I think I'm just going to go with planks at the moment. Now we'll put that in there. We'll just bring it up a little bit, and then that's the floor that goes in. And in real life, so all these will click together. It'll be very rigid. You'll be able to just pick it up, move it around. It's really strong. But this bit here, the floor, you print it out, you just literally just drop it in, and it will just sit on that bottom bit there like that. Which means you can quickly and easily take floors out, and it's the same with the roof sections as well. So before we do the roof section, what I'll do is, at the moment, if we go onto groups over here, you can see we've got our level 1 that we've designed. If we add a level like that, so we're on the next level, and then we'll select this one, duplicate it, and then we'll move it up to this level with this button, and then it quickly moves the level up. So you can see if you're building dungeons with lots of levels, or buildings lots of levels, it's nice and quick to just build those extra levels. So if we do that, you can also just hit the delete key to get rid of that. And then let's put in a little window. Now at the moment we're on, if I just do that, so at the moment we're on level 1. So if I go to wall, and that's a little window, move over to here. If we just go back to groups a minute, we can see that this is put it on level 0, not on level 1, because this bit's highlighted. So we open that up and go to there, it's selected, so we just click that button, go to this level, and it will automatically jump up. You could just move it up manually, but then it won't be in that level, and then when you move it to that level, it'll move it up to the next one. So it's better to just do that, click that in, There we go, we've got a nice little house. Now, we got no way of getting up here because it's a single room. So if I just delete that floor, and then we'll go back to our floors, and we'll add this one, which is like a trapdoor. And I'll just check, see what level it's on. So because it's brown, that's showing what level it is. So it's actually on the right level, this one. And the inspector, we can just click it up a little bit so that it's sitting on the bits where it's supposed to. You can just roughly line it up, because it doesn't matter that this doesn't have to be super accurate when you're building in here. It's not going to affect the build, because what it will do, it will give you a print list when you're done of every piece that you've used. In fact, if I just show you, let me just check that a minute, go on to there, level, and I'll just save it just to make sure. Go into my builds, and oh, it's this one, Tumley Tower. It hasn't got an image. I'll show you that in a minute. You can add images and things like that. So on here there's a print list. You press print list, and then it gives you the name of the part and how many you need. So the number here, so it's a cross connector, and you need 6 of them. So, and then the walls, 6 of them. And then if you click to print it, it will just come out on, you know, plain paper. Gets rid of all the graphics, just black and white, nice and easy to print. And then you can just take that to your print software and print off all the bits. And then you go into that, the planner, like I said before, and then it'll tell you what that bit is that you're using, and all the bits, and you can just go through the planner, clicking and building. There we go. So we'll just go back to that. So we've got 2 floors. We've got a way up because we've got the little hatch. Again, this little hatch, it really does open. It's got a hinge on it. You print it out. No supports or anything. Just print it out. Press with your thumb. It's a little bit tighter, this one, just because it's printed flat, so they're always a little bit more awkward. But yeah, you just push it with your thumb, snap it, and it will be on a little hinge, and you'll be able to open it. And I quite like this with D&D, which is why I've put it into the system and everything that you see, all these little windows and things like that. Because when people are playing the game, it gives them visual cues as to what to expect. You know, if there's a little trapdoor that opens and they move in and go, oh, you found a trapdoor. Turn it off. Right, what was I saying? So yeah, you got a trapdoor. So then you can literally open it, and then if there's a monster below, your players can see it just by looking. So it gives that real sort of interactive feel. You don't have to bother. You know, if it's you just want it there. But there might be little things. So like in some of the trial chambers, we got like little hidden things, like little cracks in the wall where you can literally see through the wall. So you could have it here, for example, there'd be cracks in the wall. You put this on the table and your players might be looking at it and then notice there's cracks. Oh, now the chicken started. So they can literally get up close, look through the wall and see what's on the other side, on the inside of the wall. So you've got some really cool mechanics like that. And things like the drawbridge as well. So the drawbridge, you know, you can literally wind the little handle, it lifts the drawbridge up. And so it's changed the environment that your players are playing on. You're not putting things on to represent a drawbridge, or just saying to them, oh, just imagine the drawbridge was open. It literally is open. So if there's players on there while it's opening, you know, you've got that mechanic where they can try and hold on, or they're going to fall off, they could be knocked prone. And then when it is open, now you've got a river or a moat or something between your players. And it's just, I don't know, it's a little bit more satisfying having that. Anyway, go back to this. So let's add another level on then. So if I just grab level 1 and we duplicate it, add a level first, grab level 1 and then hang on, let me do that again, duplicate it, there you go, and then I did it in the wrong order, and then move to that level. So now we can go up, and then we got our trapdoor still. We can add little ladders in as well. We've got ladders that fit into these trapdoors, so when it opens the ladder drops in and it just sort of like stays in place. So you can add that to your build list. And let's add some different windows. So if we go back to here and go back to wall, what have we got? Let's add one of these. So if I delete that and then we'll put one of these in, not that, we use this one I think. So this is a different style. This is like a Tudor style bay window, and let's just move it over here, go to our groups, and we see it's in what's in the group copy here, so it's in this one because it's lit up. Where is it? There. And then we want to move it to this level, so we just click that move and then it's up like that. This one we will delete that, and then this we'll just spin it round and then we'll move it in. This one doesn't lock in at the moment because it's a weird shape and it tries to lock in the middle there somewhere. It's not doing it now, but I will get this fixed so it locks in properly. But if you get to a piece which is a little bit of a weird shape and it doesn't lock, you can just press the align key, you go to the inside of the rebate and then you click on the outside of the rail, and then it will just jump into position and you just confirm it, and then it will line up nicely with the rest of the stuff. So there we go, we've got a little Tudor balcony thing going on there. I think we'll delete that. Oh, what did I do? I think I might have duplicated it a couple of times. Yeah, I did. When I was messing around in it, when I was going to move it up, I duplicated it and then I didn't move it, and then I pressed the duplicate button again. So I think this whole group here needs to be deleted. No. What's that one then? Oh, that's the one below. So if we duplicate that and then move it to this level, that's it. And then what I'll do, I'll just spin that one round, grab that little pink bit and then just drop it in. I deleted my floor as well. So we duplicate that and then we'll move it up to this level. There we go. So as you can see, it's really nice and quick and easy to build buildings with this program. It's going to get better. It is still a prototype, but it's fully functional and it's in a really good usable state, and I'll be updating it and tweaking it a lot over the next couple of weeks to make sure that it's fully functional. But there we go. Let's add another layer on. So this time I'm going to grab this layer here. This, not that one. No. I want this entire level. I want to duplicate it, and I should put that level in first. This is what I did before. I duplicated it, that one, and then I got that one. So I will move it up to that one. I haven't got any windows or anything there because that wasn't in the group that I duplicated. So let's put a different window in. Actually, let's put this one in. This is a clock. Let's make a clock tower. So it's gone on to this level. So I'll just move it up to that one. And I'll just grab that and drop that in there. And there's some little hands that you can print out that go into that. And we will duplicate that. Move it up here. Put another floor. And I think that'll do. I think that's a good enough little tower. I feel like we need more windows. Let's just delete that a minute. Where is it? It says it's on this level. Oh, it's in that group. Delete that. Yeah. And find another window. So that's a little internal door, that one. Oh, this one's a good one. So this has got a planter on it. So we just rotate that round. This is on the wrong level, so again we'll just go into here. It's on level 3 because that's the one with it's lit up brown. This one isn't, so we want to move it to that one. There we go, and that's locked in. Now I'm using blocks here, and then I'm using Tudor here, and that's because I've got all the sets selected. So there's loads of walls here because I've got everything. If I just wanted to use Tudor, instead of having all the sets, I would just choose the Tudor one, and then it would just give me all the different types of Tudor walls and not the bricks and everything from the other ones. This is just from the Tudor set. So you can have a couple. You can have the Dirty Hovel. No, you can't. I'm going to change that. You should be able to have both because you've got all sets. So like on here, for example, I've set it so you can have connector, roof and walls selected, or just roof and connectors, and then it will give you all of that. This, you should be able to choose more than one, I think, so I will change that. I guess it doesn't really matter, but I quite like that where you can have more than one selected. You know, if you're building the roof and you know you want the connectors as well whilst you're building the roof, or you can just quickly turn them off. So let's go in here, let's put something in here, and that one, delete that. I have duplicate there, look. So I've got that, and then that. So delete that. What's going on? So what I'm doing at the moment, so if you press something and then you press duplicate, you've now got two there. If you click off of it, there is two there still, but you can't see them because there's one inside the other, and I think I've done that several times. That's the main one. I don't know. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, and then we'll put another window in here. So let's choose rickety undershack window. This one. So rickety undershack is wooden building. And I wouldn't really build this. I would stick to all the bricks, all the Tudor, or the wooden one, rather than a mismatch. But you can put whatever you want in. It's up to you. But this is just for demonstration purposes. So, and I just want to say, at the moment, all the sets we've got: Dirty Hovel, Rickety Undershack, and the Tudor Townhouse. Said the Dirty Hovel, Dirty Hovel, and the Rickety Undershack, they're free. So everybody that just logs on, they're there. You can start building with them. If you register, which again is free, really quick and easy, just put your email address in. It sends you a code, you pop that in, then you've just got access. And if you create a if you log in, you've then got access to your builds basically, and everything that you do will just get saved in there, and you can publish stuff as well once you've registered. All the other buildings will be available. So the Tudor Townhouse will be available to you if you selected that. These will just, instead of having green on them, they'd be red. So it's just a warning. Like if you use this, you could use it, and you could add it in. You can put it as part of your build. But if you don't own it, obviously you won't be able to print it out. So you can still build with it. You can build your houses and publish them, but if you want to print it off, you have to purchase the bits that you print off, and they're not expensive. Like the Tudor Townhouse, all the bits in there, there's, I don't know, I think there's like 80 pieces in there, and it's about £8. So you're talking like a couple of pence per piece. It's not expensive. And if you just get a few of the houses, if you bought the castle, for example, there's hundreds of pieces in the castle, and if you buy all the little bits of it, you can then just make your own castle. At the moment, the castle walls like the portcullis, and then you've got a couple of gatehouse towers, and these are massive towers that go either side of the portcullis, and then you've got the rampart walls, which are obviously the guardian walls, the curtain walls, and then they got like little staircases and little gothic tunnels through them. But if you wanted to, you could use all those pieces to just build yourself a big castle that sits behind those walls. Or you could take something like the Mug and Mortar Tavern, which again is quite a big building, lots of pieces, so that you could build loads of little townhouses out of just that one building and make a whole street. And as you can see, it's quick and easy. You just play around with this, build a building, get something that you like the look of, print it out, click it together. If you want, you can paint it up, or you can print it all in coloured filament if you don't want to paint it, and then get it on the table. So what we're going to do with this one now, we've got a few windows and things, so I think we'll finish it off and we'll put a little roof on. So we'll use the Tudor roof system, click all roof, and then first thing you need when you're building a roof is these little cross caps. or some sort of little connector, and we'll add a level because this is going to be the roof level. Select that and then move it to that top level that we've just done. Snap that onto there, and we're going to have 4 of those, one on each corner. So duplicate it to there, duplicate that one to there. And there's another way you can do it actually, is you can, if you select something, duplicate it, and then you press the arrow, you can put how far you want it to move so that you can line things up, because that's not properly lined up on there. It's lined up enough, but if you want it to be spot on, using this sort of method of just clicking there, so everything is 111 if you're moving a wall. So if you wanted this wall perfectly there, just click it and then you move it 111, and then it will line up exactly. So it's another quick way of building if you like using your shortcuts. Right, so now we've got the little cross caps on there, and then we're going to put some parapet beams in. If I select this level and then add that, it will add it to that level. Okay, and then we'll just trick that to lock into there, duplicate it, lock it into there, duplicate it, spin it around and lock it into that one, and then we're going to duplicate it and we're going to lock it in there, and then we're going to duplicate this one and move it up to this level, and then that's your roof. This is obviously a flat roof, that's a little bit high, look. So again, I could just move this down by 4. So here, look, it's set 4mm, 1mm. So if you're moving a floor is 4mm thick. So that's why we would want to move it up at 4mm at a time, so that it just lines up nicely. But you could just change that to 1mm, just move it up a little bit like that. So that's a flat roof situation going on there. Or what we could do, we could put some gables on it. So if we just delete that and delete that, and then find some gable ends, there's different sorts. So we could have this one. I didn't select my level, so it's gone all the way down there. That's alright, we just move it to the top level, turn it round and drop that. This one's not locking in either, because this is the Tudor townhouse is the latest one that I've done, and I've not set it up properly yet, so not everything is clicking together the way that it should. But as I said, this is just for building purposes, to to get an idea of what you want it to look like. So that's that one. That's going to be a really little shallow roof, that one. So let's not use that. Let's use one of these ones. Yeah, that'll be better. That's gone down there again. I'll move it up to that level, turn it around and just drop it in. So did you see that one? That's clicking in, that one. So I'm getting there. I'm going through so this one is slightly offset. That, there we go. It wasn't clicking in because when I put it, there's nothing for it to click into. So I think that's not clicked in. That's better. Oh, then we can duplicate that, pull that over to this side, and there we got our roof. And then this one, hold Control to select multiples, duplicate, add level, and move to that level. And now this one, we want to move it. If we move it this way by 100, it's going to go over the top of this one. So we want it halfway, which would be 55.5. And that'll take us exactly to the middle then. Now the roofs themselves are a little bit fiddly to put on. I'm going to try and improve it. This sort of style would be the standard tile. The lower ones, that's what would be those smaller ones there. So we want these. Actually, what I'm going to do, select the level that I want on that one, then do that. And then when I add it, it's at the right level instead of putting it on the floor every time. Move this out the way a minute so you can see which way the tiles are running. So it's running that way. So this is the bottom, this is the top. So we'll stick it on this side, and you just go underneath, you click a line, click that, and then you align it with one of these grooves that it sits on. So it sits in that little rebated area. Now it will go off to the side. Oh, I've got the wrong tile. It will go off to the side. Just click confirm, and then you just slide it in to put it in the right place. But that's the wrong tile, so we'll get rid of that. It was that other one that I looked at, because we got some I'll put that down the bottom again. Just click on groups, move it to the top one. So the same with this. I don't know why it does that little line there. Move it over, go underneath, and then click your align, click your button, and then choose one of these flat surfaces for it to go on. Confirm that, and then you just drag it to so it fits in between the two higher bits there and there. Now I did have a bit of problem with these slopes once you turn them round, but I think I did get it fixed. Yeah, it's working fine. And then just drag that over there, like there, and that's your roof. Nice, quick, nice and easy, but a little bit more effort than the walls, just because you've got to add the slope. And the reason for that is that these tiles fit onto this one, but they also fit onto different ones that are bigger. So it's not in this build, but for example this big tile here, that will fit on, that will go from this side all the way to this side. Or we've got some of these which are there, but they go all the way up, so they're a lot higher, and then it uses the same tile, so it's a much more pointy one. But that is not in this build, so we haven't got those pieces yet. And I'm showing you this where we've only got the Tudor townhouse at the moment, but I will be adding all those other buildings, just working through them, like the mug and mortar, things like that, making sure that everything's snapping properly the way that it's supposed to, making sure that all the codes are correct. So on this, the correct codes are the ClickyWalls and then a number, but some of them still have the old numbering system. I think they might not. I might have updated all of them, I can't remember, but I'm getting there with it. So it's a work in progress. It is just a prototype, so there will be little kinks and quirks and things that are not working 100%, but just let me know. Just go into the forum, just go into our community and just say, Simon, look, I'm trying to do this, it's not working, and then I'll take a look at it and I'll fix it. Or you might say, Simon, can we have a button that does this, or can we have a button that does that? And you know, if you want it developed, if you feel like there's something missing from it that could be added, just let me know, and if I like the idea, then I'll add it. And there we go. So the next thing is, we'd want a picture of this. We wouldn't, because it's a bit of a crap building. I'm sure you can do better. So we can use the camera, but before you use the camera, you choose the light in, and you can just sort of set what time of day it is, because you might be building this way round, and then your door's here and it's in the dark, so you can just move the sun and put it where you want. And this one just is like how high the sun is, so this is more the position of the sun, so we can get a little bit of shadow going on one side like that, get it looking nice, get it all lined up where you want to take the picture, and then just press the camera button and save the picture. That'll save it to this model. Everything's saved online. I don't know why everything goes white after you've taken a picture. It's like dropping a nuke or something. Oh, we got a little bit that goes in there. Let's just stick that in. Roof section. I'm on all sets. It's on the Tudor. It's that one there. So yeah, it's just a little flat roof. And this just shows you where everything is. You can move things as well if you want to. So your roof. Actually, this might just be an admin thing. Yeah, actually, I think it is. That was just for moving. Like sometimes when I import everything, a roof will go into a connectors, and then I just have to move stuff around. So you don't really need to worry about that. Unless it's a feature you think that you do want, let me know and I can add it in. Right, that's on the top floor. So I would probably put it on this floor because it's the roof of that one. But again, it's up to you where you put it. So I'll just go to groups, and then somewhere's got a little brown arrow, this one. So I want to put this on level 3. Level 3 is there, so just move it to that level. And then this will be similar. It probably won't snap into position, so I can just use the align tool, go into there, click on that, and then just click somewhere on that ridge where it goes, and then it will align it to it, confirm it. Obviously you just move that then and just line it up, and then that's your little roof that drops in. And that, again, that's removable, so your players, they could like peek through the windows to see what's in there, or you could take that off if I can find it, and then you can sort of look and see what's going on there like that as well. There are a few other features. I'm sure I've forgotten stuff, but so select, you can just drag and select a level. Look, so I've selected 2 levels there, so you could move them up if you wanted to. We got our undo and redo buttons here. What else we got? The fine controls in here. So I showed you a little bit like this, where you can just fine tune everything there. But we've also got these rotational ones if you're building something a little bit strange. So for example, let's take this wall out. Let's just say you wanted to have this bit, but you wanted to be a little bit creative with it. With these controls, you can only turn it around like that, but with these ones, not that one, you could essentially build something like that. You know, something a little bit strange, something a little bit out of the ordinary. It just allows you to be very, very creative with it, with those controls. You know, you might be building a weird wizard tower or something like that. and yeah, and I was trying to select them, but I can't select because I'm on the move. It always defaults to the move. So select that, duplicate. You know, these could then be one building, and then you connect them up, you put your wall across, and like this, like that in there. You could ungroup it. No, it won't allow you to create a group like that, because lots of different levels. You kind of have to do it level by level because of the way that in print. I was just checking that, like if I could create a group, I can't because the groups are within the levels. So you can't group all those ones with these ones because they're all on different levels. But you could if it was all on the same level. Let's these ones be down the bottom here somewhere. Where are they? Oh, they're in here. So that one. By the way, when you're scrolling, you can just minimize these if you want to. If you're working on level 0 and you've got all these other ones, that you can just minimize them like that. Yeah, so that allowed me to create a group there because they're all on the same level. So you can see as you're creating groups, or if you had this in a group, let's just select this a minute. Yeah, it's already selected. So you'd have to ungroup it. What I'm just looking at here is, could we have a group within a group? And we can't at the moment. It seems that I can create that group, and then it puts it in this group here, look. And then this one, I could create a group with that one. Now, what I'd like to be able to do, so you can minimize the groups as well. So that one and that one, what I think we should be able to do is be able to select both of those, but we can't in here from pressing shift or control. It's not selecting them, so you can't group the groups. And if I did that, it is kind of selecting them, but it won't let me create a group out of them because it just says select group. But I'm going to change that because I think you should be able to stack the groups, because again, that would come in handy if you could select that group and that group. It would just allow you to build a little bit easier. Let's say work in progress. I will update it. I think I've covered most things. This will give you your views, so you can just quickly snap to different viewpoints, which is quite handy, especially the Y one where it's giving you that top-down view when you're building dungeon layouts and things like that. I have created these dungeons here, look. So these are quite cool. So they're all designed in a block format, because this is how I quite often use ClickyWalls. You create a room essentially with all your walls like that, and then you print it out, click it all together, and then that just stays a consistent room that you'd use. As you can see, they're all different groups. So that room there, you could obviously drop some floors in. I didn't put floors in this because this is the free one. This is basically the rickety under shack. So anybody can print this off. But it doesn't have floor sections. And so that'd be your main room, and then there's a doorway there and a doorway there, and then you might chuck this one down, which is a doorway there and a doorway there, so it's like an elbow. And then they might walk into a T section and they decide where to go, or cross section, or a little dead end. But all these are the rebated walls that will accept these. So these are the doors and the false walls. So if you drop a false wall in there, it just looks like one of these walls, and these walls are made to look like they've got the false bit in them, so it all looks the same. But we've got loads of these, especially in the secret chambers. You've got fireplaces that, you know, you've got little tunnels that go through, picture frames, fountains, things like that, and they all work with the same system. So here, for example, you could have a portcullis door and just drop it in, or over here you could have a prison wall, a prison door, which just slots into that wall. And yeah, we got loads of them. We got like broken walls and things like that which just slide in. So you build your whole dungeon, and then you can then put either walls or doors in depending on how you want it laid out. Because you could put the secret wall in there, and it doesn't mean it is a secret wall. It could just be, well, that is now blocked off, and so you can create a maze or something like that out of this. And yeah, so I think I've covered most things with that. But if you guys have got any questions, just jump on, have a little play with it. As I say, if you produce something good, everything that you've got will go into your My Builds page, which is your own private little area. Anything you purchase will go into here, and it will see. So this one here, Tudor Townhouse, got a little tick on it because it belongs to me. If it doesn't belong to you, this will just come up, and it will just be orange, I think, like this colour, just saying what it is and that you can purchase it. And if you want to buy it, just click it, and then you can buy it, add it to your collection. And then if you build something really cool, excuse me, if you build something really cool like Tumley's Tower, I'm not proud of it, but if I was, then down here you can just publish. I've got to publish official because I'm admin, but that's for doing the actual the official builds, like the Tudor Townhouse, the ones that have all the official parts in them. That's what that is for me. But you would just get this publish button, you click that, and then it'll say it's published, and it jumps over to the publish page, and this is where you've got all the builds. There's nothing in here at the moment other than what I've done. I was saying that Craig's one of our guys, he's been on having a little play, so he's been building something on there. He's not finished it yet, but he's building a huge mansion style, and this is all out of the rickety undershack, so again that'll be one of the free ones. And filters on here as well, so here if I tick Tudor Townhouse, the Tudor Townhouse stuff, if you haven't got that, if it's just rickety undershack and Dirty Hovel, everything that's in here means that you can print it whether you've bought anything or not, because they're the free ones. That you could turn those off. And let's just say you bought the Tudor Townhouse, you can click that, and then all the buildings that are built with these parts only will then be shown. So you could, yeah, there'd be lots of little different houses and things like that. Early days, so there's not much on here at the moment, but you know, I'm sure over the next coming months this is going to start getting populated nicely, and you'll be able to come on, have a little play, and guys, honestly, it's good fun. It's a great little piece of software. Quite proud of it, to be honest. And all links in with the ClickyWalls system. Once you've created your account and you've bought something, you've got it forever. You can download it as many times as you want. Another thing is, you are free to sell anything that you print. Obviously you can't sell the STL files. If you're buying them, they are copyrighted, they do belong to ClickyWalls. But anything that you physically print, so if you bought the Tudor townhouse, printed it all off, you can sell that online wherever you want. It's yours. There's a free distribution on anything that you print. So if there's anybody out there that's got print farm and does printing, or if you know anybody that does and they want to sell stuff, then by all means. I know that most companies, you have to buy a special license for that, but I don't agree with that. I think if you've bought it, it's yours, and then if you print it with your filament, then that's yours to sell as you see fit, and make loads of money doing it. Right, I think that's it for this video, guys. I can do some more videos later on once it's a bit more established, and I've got some new features in. As I say, I've got a few ideas of what I want to do, but where's my builds there? But if, as I said before, if there's anything that you want added, I'm adding the things that I want, that I think is going to be good, but I'm always open to suggestions. Another thing on here, you've got a search button for searching for certain builds, but you've also got this along here, searching. But the other thing is, you've got this compact all button, so it just brings everything up nice and small. Just makes it a little bit easier when you're searching. But yeah, wrap it up there, guys. Please do jump on and have a little look. It's just clickywalls.com. Click that studio button, it'll bring you to here, and you'll be able to get in straight away and start playing with it. So you've got those couple of free buildings on there, and just those two buildings, the rickety undershack, you can build a lot with it. As I said, this one here, look, the dungeon throwdowns, that's all part of the undershack, so that's all free. You don't need to spend any money on any of this if you don't want to. My hope is that you love the system and you do want to buy a few bits and pieces, and if you do and you build some cool stuff, share it with the community, and yeah, we'll see you on the forums. Cheers, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye. Stop recording. Where's the stop recording button?